this MacBook is one of the most hated computers ever made. Usable keyboard? Psh, who needs that? Upgradability? As absent as Steve in his kid's childhood. Value for money? Oh man, that's as realistic as the American dream. But man, I respect the balls this thing had to tell everyone to fuck off. This computer is like the horrors of computing. It's all about the looks. Even to this day, despite all the advances we have made with, M's and all that, it's insane how compact it is. You can hold and type on this thing as you would on an iPad. And keep in mind, this thing came out at a time where the MacBook Air, the thin and light one, looked like this. And it's not even that much bigger than an iPad. And remember, this was before Apple Silicon and all that crazy efficiency. So having something that was barely bigger than an iPad being able to run macOS and all that jazz was pretty damn impressive. And we gotta discuss performance, because there's a lot of people out there online saying that this thing is slow, which, look, I'm sure if you're some fancy YouTuber that has like a M1 Max MacBook Pro, 9 terabytes of RAM and 16 gigs of storage, I'm sure everything is slow to you, good sir. Now, this was a 2016 model that was slightly upgraded. It had a 1.2 gigahertz chip instead of the 1.1 chip and came at an affordable $1,600. And like 2 years later, it was broken. Now, keep in mind, this is not mine, alright? I would not drop $1,600 on what is essentially a cool tech demo. And more importantly, I don't think I've ever saved up $1,600 in my entire life. When I used to mess around with this thing, it never felt slow. It was comparable to my 2015 MacBook Air base model, which was $600 less, so definitely not worth the bang for your buck. I still love this thing because, it represents Apple at its most arrogant. They made a vanity, form of function, jewelry of a computer that they knew no one would buy and didn't care about that. This thing started at $1,299, the exact same price as the MacBook Pro, which was better than this thing in every single way except for portability. And no sane person would ever buy this or the MacBook Pro. But this was not made for the sane sheeps out there who buy what they're told and act responsibly. God damn it. This was made for rich pricks that had money to burn, who wanted the thinnest Mac possible, even though all they did was stay in their room all day, lying on bed, watching all kinds of crap like this video. This isn't made for people who care about specs and gigahertz and RAMs. No, this was made for the chads who, bought pink Macs. I gotta appreciate that level of arrogance both on behalf of Apple and the customers that bought these things. I mean, for God's sake, this thing is called MacBook. They called the product the name of the category. It's like calling a person human. That's how smug and elitist this computer is. I respect it for being a Steve Jobs era wildcard computer that was made not because they should, but because they could. And as a fan of Jurassic Park, I appreciate that mentality. Now, for those out there who really want a small Mac and heard me glazing this thing for the last 20 minutes and want to pick one out, please, for the love of God, don't. Using this computer is like dating Amber Heard. I guess it looks okay, it looks good, but none of that matters when it shits the bed, son. This thing was the first computer to have the butterfly keyboard, and man, it was crap. The keys had minimal travel, it was uncomfortable to type on, and even if a molecule of a molecule got trapped under the keys, it would get stuck and they would stop working, you would get double clicks. It was a complete mess. It got so bad that Apple had to launch a keyboard replace program, all of the MacBooks which had this keyboard. And no matter how much you baby this thing, no matter if you toss out your infant from its stroller and put this thing there, it will absolutely still fail. And Apple doesn't even offer the free repair program anymore, so you'll have to pay for it out of pocket. And given that this thing is considered obsolete by the company and is more than 10 years old, it's going to be insanely tough to get repairs for this thing and therefore very expensive. But man, I get the appeal of this thing. Could you imagine if Apple brought this thing back with the M4 chip? God damn, that would be nice, but I won't be able to afford it, so who cares? But let me know, what do you guys think of this? Did you own it? What was the experience like? Let me know all that great stuff. Drop a like and subscribe if you enjoyed. It really just help out push out this content out there. Thank you very much. See you soon. Bye bye.